Hi everyone, welcome to Papa's Workshop. Today is all about bump stops. For the last couple of years, I've used a pair of bump stops for all types of applications and it's worked great. Right now, I'm working on several flag projects where I'm putting text on the stripes of the flags, and I needed some more. So I figured it was a good time to dig through the file, pull it out, and make some additional bump stops. Let me show you how I did it. Let's get started. Now this project was a project that has been in the Inventables project file for quite some time. In fact, when I first got my CNC machine several years ago, this was one of the first projects that I had done. In the original one, there was only two, and I went ahead and copied this so that I can cut out 4 of the bump stops on this particular project today. This is the original bump stop that I made a couple of years ago, and it has been extremely useful. And I've got the other one back that's going to hold the other part of the strip of wood on my flag to do the carving. To do this carving, I just slid over and used an unused portion of the work area, and I set it up with a auxiliary waste board. So if it cuts all the way through the material, it's okay. It'll cut into that rather than the main waste board. Because I'm cutting all the way through this project, I chose to use my tape and glue method, and I'll put a link up top on how to do that. Using the tape and the glue method for this makes it where I do not need to have tabs. I can cut all the way through the project, and it leaves very clean sides, and I don't have to worry about cleaning up and sanding off the tabs itself. And this tape and glue method works extremely well. Now this is 1/2 inch thick material. Now currently I'm using an 1/8 inch bit for this carve, and it's with the default setting for the birch plywood, which was 40 inches a minute for the feed rate. Now what I'm going to do is speed this up, and I'm going to increase the speed slowly until I reach 76 inches per minute for a feed rate, and it still carves extremely well. One of the things that I want to point out, if you look closely on the slot on the left hand side, it's cut all the way through the material into my auxiliary waste board. Good reason to have one, because this actually cut a little bit deeper than I had planned. I had said a moment ago that this was 1/2 inch plywood, and I had assumed, and assuming is a bad thing, and I did not recheck it with the calipers. The thickness of this plywood is actually 0.45 of an inch. So with the machine set where it would actually cut all the way through, it did. It cut all the way through and then into the auxiliary waste board just a little bit, which is okay, but this is why I do it, so I don't damage the original waste board on my XCarve. This is the first one that came off of the CNC machine, and it just takes just a little bit of cleanup, and actually not much at all, and this will be ready to use. Things are a little bit crazy in the shop today. I've got multiple projects going on and trying to get all of them finished just as fast as I can. That looks good. That was a minimum amount of cleanup. And this one's ready to go. Typically I do not even seal them, and they'll still last for a very long time. I want to be able to get down in this edge just a little bit. There's a little bit of fuzzy in there. But really very, very little. Using the downcut bit works extremely well. I also increased the speed because to be able to cut all 4 of these, the feed rate was showing that it was going to take over 2.5 hours at a 40 inch per minute feed rate. And by speeding it up to about 78, it's going to considerably cut that time down and it still turns out a very nice quality product. I wanted to take just a moment and zoom in real close so that you can see the actual cutting. This is where I had speeded up the Carve, and it's carving at 76 inches per minute. This is with the downcut bit, and you can see that it's cutting actually very clean. And that's the whole purpose of this. Inventables have a very conservative speed in their machines to begin with by default. And like I said earlier, the default setting was 40 inches per minute. So I virtually almost doubled the speed, and it's still cutting very, very clean, and I'm not having any type of vibration or problems. And again, this is with my machine. Your machine may react a little bit different, so use caution. If you choose to increase the speed rate during the Carve, monitor it very closely and increase the speed very slowly, just a little bit at a time, and see how your machine reacts. So one last look. This is again real time at 76 inches per minute, and I wanted to zoom in really as close as I could so you could see how it cut the perimeter of this bump stop. And you can see that there is no vibration at all, and it does cut very clean. Again, this is what you need to monitor on your machine if you choose to increase the speed on it. This is a quick overview of the entire work area. My XY0 point is at the bottom left hand corner of this workpiece, and it does give me a lot of flexibility. This is the third one that is coming off of the CNC machine. Again, this tape comes off real easy. I really like this method. Now you see this right here, that's actually just a void in the plywood. That is not where the CNC machine made a mistake. And this area right here is another little void in the plywood. That's not going to hurt anything as far as the usefulness of the bump stop. Just makes it where it doesn't look quite as nice, but that's okay. Go ahead and hit this with a little bit of the sandpaper. Now I'm doing this in real time to show you just how little sanding that this needs. There we go. And just like that. Yeah, there's one spot. There we go. Just like that, it's all done. So this is number 3. About another 15 minutes, I'll have the 4th one done, and then I'm going to start doing the carving on the flags. This is the last one doing the final portion of the cutout. It took a grand total of just about an hour and 20 minutes to cut out all 4 of these, which actually is not bad. That's a lot better than 2.5 hours. But again, if you choose to increase the speed rate, please monitor your machine very closely so there's no damage caused to it. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.